Harsh Kumar Khatri, a beta Microsoft student partner, and in today's video I'll be telling you about a game which I have built with Pygame, which is a Python library for building games. I have built this game with some online assets which are available online, and yeah, this is a snake game which I think everyone must have played in their childhood. I'll be explaining you about all the components and we will be showing you the game which I have developed. I have already explained about the basics of Pygame in a previous video, so if you haven't looked at that video already, then I'll provide the link in the card section. You can have a look at that, and I'll also link the video down in the description and comment. So let's get straight into this video. So as I have already explained you about the basics, we know that the first thing which we need is importing the Pygame module. I have imported Pygame random and OS module, which works basically. Pygame loads all the things related to Pygame. Random is for displaying the food variables or the food for the snake, which will be displayed on the random position. OS is for dealing with the external file which we are using here. Pygame.mixer will be dealing with the things which are related to music, which is an important part of our game. Pygame init will load all the things related to the Pygame in this project. These are basically the color RBG values which I have passed for making the color. You can also use the color names, but it is always better to pass the color values and as there are many different color which you may need to use, so yeah, passing them is a better option. Next thing which I have passed is screen height and width, which is basically the dimensions of the screen for the game. I have used that in a variable game window which will be displaying the screen. That will be stored in the game window variable which we will be using in the project. After which we have used the background image. I have used the snake.jpg image. Let me show you that. It is this image which I have used for the background of the game. I have loaded that image in the IMG variable. Then we have transformed the image and scaled it according to the dimensions of the screen which we have made earlier in this game window variable. Further, we have applied the title for the game screen which is there. I have gave the name it as Snakes with Harsh. After this I have displayed the variable and updated it continuously with all the things which we have specified above. Further, we have provided it the clock and font variable, which works basically. The clock variable will be dealing with all the internal clocking or the time stuff which will be taking place in the game. The font stuff will be dealing with all the font which will be used in the game. We have provided the sys font, which is basically the system use font. Text screen function deals with the drawing or displaying the text on the screen. It has the font render variable which will be displaying the text, and that game window blit game window.blit will be blitting or continuously refreshing the screen with that text which we have supplied, and xy coordinates are the coordinates on which the text will be displayed. The plot snake function will be plotting the snake again and again on the basis of the coordinates we are passing in it. Welcome function works to display all the things which will be loaded or when the game will be started initially. It has a variable exit game which is false initially. On the basis of this boolean variable, this loop will be running, and on the basis of this loop the things will be loaded or the game will be exited. Firstly, we have filled this with a color which is a pinkish white color. I will be showing you when I will be displaying the game screen. After which we have displayed two texts, which is basically the first is the invitation text like welcoming text, after which we have displayed the spacebar to play like guiding the user how the game will be starting and how the things will be displayed. After this we have used the events for getting the input from the user, according to which the input which they will be giving, we will be taking further action. First one is the cross input, which is basically this type of input. When the user will be pressing the cross button, the game will be exited. Second one is the spacebar input. When the user will be pressing the spacebar, then this music will be load and then it will be played, and then game loop function will be load, which is the below function. I will be telling you about that. The music which we have used here is the snake sound, like snake flute sound. जो नागिन की बीन होती है वो that we have used. It will be first loaded and then it will be played. after which the Pygame display will be updated continuously and the clock will be started to tick. Now talking about the most important function for our game, which is the game loop function. Firstly, I have defined some variables here. First one is the exit game variable and game over variable. First, exit game will be dealing with the exiting of the game, and game over will be dealing with making the game over. Snake x and snake y are the coordinates for the snake, where the snake will be displayed initially. After which there are velocity x and velocity y variables, which will be dealing with the velocities of the snake. Snake list is a list of different coordinates which it will be containing related to where the collision between the snake and its food will be taken place. Snake length will be dealing with the length of the snake, after which this OS path axis function are there. So this OS dot path function is there to deal with the external part, which is the high score file. You can skip this part if you don't want to put the high score function in your game, but as I have used the high score function in my game, I have used this OS.path method. It basically sees for the file. If there is no file, then it creates a file name highscore.txt and writes the 0 score in it. But if there is already a file, then it will be reading that score and will be putting that score in the high score variable. The food x and the food y variables are the position where the food will be displayed. Score equals to 0 is the initial score. Init velocity is the initial velocity. Snake size is the initial size for the snake. FPS is the frame rate per second, regarding which the frames for the screen will be changed or refreshed per second. Now this loop will be dealing with the displaying of the screen, and when this loop will be when it will be having the false value, the screen displaying will be not there and the game will be exited. Now firstly, seeing about the condition which will be executed when the game is over. When the game is over, the high score will be written in the highscore.txt file. The game window will be filled with a white color, and over which we have a text which says game over, press enter to continue in red color on the coordinate 100 to 55. After which, if we press the quit, that is the cross button on the top, the game will be exited. That window will be exited. Or if we press the enter button, then this welcome function which we have talked about will be loaded again, and we will again see the welcoming screen. Now what if we have started the game first time only, and we have not dealt with the game over condition, so this condition will be there. There are different events which will be taken from the user, upon which a different action will be performed. First one is the quit event, which will be closing the game when there will be cross button pressed. After which there are 4 events which are taken from the user, which will be dealing with the moving of snake on the left, right, top and down position. As I have already told you in the previous video that the snake moves basically has the x and y coordinate. Like in maths we have a graph which has 4 quadrants. The snake also has 4 quadrants, like the positive x, positive y, negative x, negative y, and on the basis of that the snake moves on the coordinates which we will be passing and updating continuously. So yeah, on the basis of the input which we will be getting from the user in the form of the keys which they will be pressing, the snake will be moved accordingly, and when the keys were pressed, the score will be increased by 5. This is basically for a purpose when you want to cheat, so you can continuously press the Q key, which will increase your score by 5. After that, we will change the coordinate of the snake on the basis of the velocity we will be getting. Now, one of the important part to identify if there are any collisions or not. So we have used the absolute function. The absolute function is used here so that we can get the absolute value for the differences. Like there are pixels which could have sometimes the decimal values, and on the basis of decimal values both the snake and food are colliding, which we are seeing through our eyes, but the difference is not equal sometimes, which lead to the game not working properly. So we have used the absolute function which provides us the expected output. After there is the collision, the score will be increased by 10, and the new food position will be there in the food x and food y variable, and the snake length will be increased by 5. Now this condition is there to write the score to make the high score value updated. After this, the game window will be filled with white color and the green screen will be there. displayed again. Also the score and the high score will be displayed on the position 5 5, and the color red will be there. After that the rectangle will be drawn, which is basically the food rectangle, which is in yellow color, and there are different sizes and the positions passed for the rectangle to be drawn. Here is the list which will be containing the different positions for the collision which are taking place. After this, the length of the snake will be updated. This list will not keep on increasing infinitely, but it will remove its first value whenever the length of the snake list is greater than the snake's length. So it will be deleting its first value. After that, we have to make the game over into more conditions, like when the snake hit itself. So this is basically the slicing. Whenever we have used slicing, which is a Python thing. So whenever the snake hit itself, the variable of game over will be changed to true, and the bursting sound or the blasting sound will be played whenever there is the game over thing happening. Another thing, when we have to make the game over, is when the snake moves out of the screen, like snake crosses the dimension of the screen which we have used. When this happens, then also the blasting thing will be blasting voice will be played, and the game over variable will be changed to true, and the thing will be happening. After that, these all are the things, whenever conditional things which will be taking place on the basis of condition. Here we have displayed the snake through a plot snake function which we have already discussed above. We have passed the game window, which is basically the window, the color of the snake, and the position where the snake and its things are to be displayed. After that, we are continuously updating the display through the pygame.display.update method, which will be continuously updating the screen for us to view. Clock.tick is basically refreshing the frames of the screen which is displaying the game. Higher the value of FPS passed in it, the better will be the displaying of the screen or the displaying of the frames. After which, like a good programmer always says, that you need to clear the memory. So after the game is played or the game is exited, so we have used python.quit and quit method there, which will be exiting the game when all the things are happening and clearing the memory for future processes. And as we haven't called any of the function yet, so we have passed the welcome function here, which will be called, and from that welcome function we have specified various different functions which are to be called, and the game is to be executed. Now let's now look at the game which is there to be played. As you guys can see, it shows welcome to Snakes with Harsh, and press spacebar to play. So I'll press the spacebar. Let me tell you that as soon as I press the spacebar key, the sound for the snake flute will starting to play, and I hope you will be able to listen to the sound. There might be a case that the sound is not audible to you because I am using the external mic for recording. So yeah. As you can see, when the snake hits itself, like I have pressed the front and the back key together, then the game was exited because there was a collision happening place. Now when I press the enter to continue, it takes me back to the welcome screen. So yeah, let me tell you that this game is very addictive game, and you will be feeling happy when you will be making this game yourself and then playing it. So that is all for this video.